Hey everyone, today I'm coming to you with a review on the brand new Marvel Legends retro carded Uncanny X-Men Wolverine. Now this is Wolverine as he appeared in issue 275 of giant-sized X-Men, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong if that's the name, but this is one of the more highly desired Wolverine designs because not only is that a famous issue, but it also is a rendition of the X-Men in which they all have the same exact costume, essentially, just the yellow and the blue. And the cool thing with that is we are getting, I believe, every single one of them next year. We already got the 2 3-packs announced. They kind of teased a Professor X, so we're getting Forge, Storm, and Jubilee in a 3-pack, and we are getting the Gambit, Banshee, and Psylocke in a 3-pack as well. The other one was a 3-pack. I might have said 2-pack, but regardless, this is one of the best Wolverines I think Hasbro has put out for one very specific reason, and I will get into that in the review. Which, speaking of which, without further ado, let's get into the Wolverines review. So as always, before I go over the figure and his accessories, I would like to quickly start off with the packaging. Now, as I mentioned, this is in the retro carded X-Men wave. This is the first figure in the wave that we are reviewing. As you can see on the back, there are 6 in the wave. We will have Dark Phoenix next. Honestly, a pretty cool wave. I was not looking forward to it as much as I like it now that I have it in person, mainly because I knew I was going to get the long shot, and the Avalanche and the Multiple Man kind of just like met at me, but I kind of forgot how excited I was for these 3, and these 3 are truly awesome figures. His bio reads, Wolverine. Wolverine suits up with a new X-Men team to take on the world's greatest threats to mutant kind. There you can see the price. I did get him at GameStop Canada, and there's the front. He has like just pure white pupils, or just white eyes there, which is interesting. And he comes with classic claws. I love the little effect, or the little bubble that they always put on the retro cards. For some reason, some of them are just like, make no sense. Like the Apocalypse said, Ancient Evil. He's included with Ancient Evil. Usually it's for an accessory, but hey, I guess he's included with Ancient Evil. And then the last thing on the box is you can see the other 4 heroes of the wave, which is actually really cool. A really cool little addition to the box. And I am very happy to get more retro cards, especially in the year of 2022 going into 2023, for the main reason that we have strictly plastic-free packaging, which there is an exception to now, being if it's a retro card or TVC, it's a part of the item. So it's not technically packaging, so they're keeping it. And I really do hope, and I've noticed that they're doing a lot more retro cards, but I do hope they do a little bit more than they normally do, because it'll be our technical only way to get the Marvel Legends in plastic packaging so we can see them. Now, for the Wolverine itself, just looking at it here with a quick glance, it does look fairly simple, but the main draw to this figure, in my opinion, is after what it's felt like probably 20 Wolverines, or around there, 15. Let me not be too over the top, but 15 or so Wolverines on this style of body, and we finally get a pinless design. And that looks absolutely awesome. Here, quickly, I will show you the previous Wolverine from this year. This is the Bonebreaker Wave 1, and as you can see, they are different arms already. I don't seem to have, I grabbed a bunch of Wolverines, but all the ones I grabbed have the arm showing, but I'm sure they'll do pinless here as well. But this is all new, and I couldn't tell because I don't have one with me. Actually, yes, I do. I have this one right here. It is the same shoulder, but from the bicep down, it is new. And the other thing that is also new with this figure is they are including the straps on them, but they're not going up and down like, you know, the iconic Cyclops that just, that would always happen with it. So not only is it like that with this figure, but it is like that with the other 3-pack characters. They have that design. But back to the pinless aspect on the figure, I think it absolutely looks awesome, and it really does just fit in really well with the whole team, especially because the rest are pinless as well. And it would have been really odd if this one was the exception, but I'm just happy that they went this route, and I'm excited to see what they do with this pinless body of Wolverine. I'm honestly a little Wolverined out. There's not really too much more that could get me super excited. I know there is a rumored animated one coming out again, so that one I assume will have the pinless aspect, or the pinless arms and legs with it, which is going to be great. But the rest of the figure, as you can see, is fairly simple in the red and blue color scheme. Now, for his accessories, he is included with an extra head. Now, this is another huge draw to this Wolverine for me and a lot of others, as I've heard, because I have watched a decent amount of videos on this wave. And the main draw being these head sculpts, because Hasbro recently, they've done so many Wolverine or just Logan head sculpts, specifically Logan. And it seems to me, at least, and a lot of people, that they can't nail it. They can't get it right. It's kind of like the Luke Skywalker in Black Series with Mark Hamill in Black Series. It never is perfect, but with these two head sculpts, this is exactly what I and a lot of others have wanted for Logan head sculpts. The hair length is perfect. The face isn't too goofy or looks too odd. And I think a big reason, or a huge reason why this does look so good, is because they have started in the last couple of years to use not only photoreal with the MCU figures, but with the comic ones here. And as you can see, it's a little hard to see right here, but if it would focus, come on. You can kind of see it from a distance there, but he does have the photoreal on the face and the mouth. Just everything on the face is photoreal, and that is great. I love that Hasbro was doing that with the comic figures, because initially I kind of was like, okay, what is that going to really do to comic figures? But trust me, it makes a big difference. If not, I don't want to say this, but it's almost on the level of impact that the photoreal had on the MCU, in my opinion, because it's just absolutely amazing what they can do with the photoreal for the comics, which definitely does not get noticed as much as I think it should. Now, he is also included with an extra set of hands, being just fists. Now, if I'm being entirely honest, they've done this with a lot of Wolverines, and I do appreciate it, but I personally would have preferred if they would have given us open hands like this with the holes on top, so you could swap and switch the claws from hand to hand. Because to me personally, if I want to have the fists just out, I'll just take the claws out, and I know you'll still have the holes, but I would rather have an extra hand that's just open or something like that instead of just fists without the holes. I don't know. It's just nothing too crazy with me. I'm going to probably put these in a bin and never touch them again. That's usually what happens with the unclawed Wolverine hands, because why are you going to buy a Wolverine and have them display without the claws? That's like the main reason you got to have it. It's a great reason. It's a great addition, but I just think they could be a little bit more creative with their accessories, especially because we've gotten so many Wolverines at this point. But overall, this design looks awesome. There really isn't too much to go over, as you can see here. What you see is what you get, and what you get is certainly awesome. If you just look from the head down, without the claws, it looks like Cyclops legs, which is probably what they were going for. And I know the new Cyclops on the animated body, which I really, really want, has that same design. So that's another reason why I'm thinking of getting all those ones, which I probably shouldn't, but you know me, I love Marvel Legends. But I think that's all I have to say with this figure. So without further ado, let's get into his articulation segment. So the articulation on this Wolverine is the same as the other versions, just pinless, which does make a huge difference on the articulation. It's more of an aesthetic, but the head does go up that much, does go down. It's the same articulation on both heads, so no need to show both. Full 360, same movement as you would expect. Now the arms do go out that much. There is a beautiful butterfly joint, which is signature to this figure. It does go down, full 360, bicep swivel, beautiful double jointed pinless elbows, which kind of, and this isn't the pinless or anything, it's just the Wolverine arms. They don't go in as much as I feel like they could. It's kind of just 90 at that point. I mean, he does have these massive biceps, but I don't know. Maybe because, you know, they redesigned this, they could have done a little bit. I'm just being nitpicky now just to make the articulation a little bit better, but still not terrible movement. Now the hands are both on a horizontal hinge on both pairs, so the hands do go up that much. They go down, full 360. I wish they would switch up the design for these claws. I feel like they should start doing something like chromey. The ab crunch goes back that much. Forward, waist cut equals full 360. The legs do kick forward that much. Back, splits, upper thigh cut, which looks so great, especially with the strap going around. It is molded in there, baby. It's not going anywhere. I love that, especially with all the hassle I remember I had with that Cyclops. That Cyclops figure is so outdated now. I'm so excited to get the new one. And he does have beautiful double jointed pinless knees. And lastly, boot rotation for 360, as well as ankles being able to go up, down, and ankle rocker pivot. So expected articulation on the Wolverine, but it is great nonetheless. So first, for comparisons, I have some of the more popular Wolverines. We have the Wolverine from the Love Triangle 3-pack. We have the Wolverine from the Bone Breaker Wave that I showed already. And then we also have the House of X, or the Hawks, or Pox, Powers of X. I remember that was a whole dilemma. Wolverine, which is actually a slept-on figure, in my opinion. I really do like this figure, especially the claws. Now, as you can see, they're all fairly similar in size, but this new pinless design on this new one is great and makes me look forward to the future Wolverines, which, peace and love, this is like probably a fifth of the Wolverines they've done and that I have. So even though they were doing pinless now, still not getting super excited for the next ones because I think I've had enough Wolverines. But at the same time, I think collecting Wolverines is just something that is like, I just really like it. I know it's the same character. It's not like a Spider-Man where there's a Spider-Verse. I love all the different colors. He's very, his colors are very vibrant. They always pop out, and he's just a badass as a character. So, you know what? I may not be super excited to get more Wolverines, but I can't say that I'm not going to buy them, which that's a issue for another time. But now let's get on to some more comparisons. Here we have the Wolverine next to the Sabretooth from the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure Wave. This figure does definitely need an update, probably on the Omega Red body. Here we have the new retro-carded Beast next to the retro-carded Wolverine. Now, even though we are getting a updated and superior version of Forge in the upcoming 3-packs, I still wanted to compare this version next to the Wolverine, even though they are fairly different colors because they are like, what, three years apart now? I think it might be 4 because this came out in 2019. Anyway, regardless, Bucky cap, outdated, but you can see what they're going for here, and I'm actually very excited to get the rest of the team in this design. I just think it's something special to the line where, you know, they'll do stuff with like 60 years of Spider-Man, 60 years of whatever, Ghost Rider, Infinity Saga, but with X-Men, we're actually getting a specific anniversary line in 2023, and with that, we get a specific X-Men team, which is awesome, because if you're just getting into the line, you get this awesome matching team that'll go with all these awesome villains and characters they are releasing as well. But I do have one last comparison. And then lastly, here we have him next to some of his fellow X-Men. Here we have the animated Jubilee, Psylocke, and the Love Triangle 3-pack Cyclops. I have the Apocalypse Wave Wolverine and the Warlock Cyclops. However, they're very much in my Sentinel display, and I really don't like taking figures out of that display because there's so much room for error. So I usually just stick with this Cyclops, but I do have that one. Even though it is very outdated, I'm excited for the new one. Just thought I would mention that. But now let's get on to my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on this Wolverine is certainly it's not going to be for everyone. Most people have their definitive Wolverine at this point because they have made so many. However, I do have to say this is a good choice for a Wolverine to do, especially with the rest of the team that we are getting. It just gets me a little bit more excited for this figure than I would be with just some other random design. And the other great thing about this figure is that it is pinless. So you do get a lot of great things, especially those head sculpts. That is a main draw. There is definitely a lot of good stuff with this figure, but it is kind of up to your desire for what you want for a Wolverine, or if you want to complete that team. It's definitely not for everyone. If I'm being honest, if I had to choose between this one and the Bone Breaker version as my definitive Wolverine, if I could only have one, I would probably go for this one. Even though it is pinned, I just prefer the look of it. It's more iconic to me. This certainly is Wolverine that goes with that team, but it's not going to be for everyone. I certainly like it, but I do have my preferences when it comes to Wolverine, and I do prefer the the mask usually, but it is great to get these heads. Now, actually, before I close off the video, I do want to show you, this is why I love these head sculpts. Look at that. That looks so, so cool. This is the best Wolverine right here. You got the head and that. Honestly, I said some good things about this cowl, but hey, it's honestly really outdated now. It came out in like the Juggernaut wave. But anyway, It is up to you as always. Let me know what you think of this Wolverine in the comments below. Do you like it? Do you like the team? Do you like what they're doing with this Wolverine? Or do you think it's just another Wolverine? Next, let's keep going on the Wolverines. As always, let me know what you think of this figure and the wave in the comments below, and I will try my best to answer you. Once again, thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. I will have a video coming up this week about that. But until my next video, thank you so much for watching. As always, I have been Jagger Collector, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.